You know, on that, Mr. Kelvin, it's very interesting because governors are seen to be like small presidents of the counties, and by the fact that they are allowed by the law, despite or besides receiving their equitable share from the national government, they have that mandate to collect the revenues in their county and direct it to different development projects. Whether the money is well spent, I think it remains the big question. Now, in today's edition, we focus, we lay our eyes on Kirinyaga County. It's number 20, at least according to the edicts given to all the counties. And this county prides itself with bountiful production of rice.
Indeed.
A top produce that keeps the residents of this county going, and is supplied to almost every corner of the entire county, of the entire country. And the county boasts of 4 constituencies with over 349 registered voters, 349,000 registered voters.
Actually, the figure stands at 836 rather, registered voters. Now, Kirinyaga County is found in the former central province of Kenya. Its capital is Kerugoya and its largest town is Wanguru. Now, in 2019, the county had a population of 610,411 people. Get this. Out of those people, 378,580 are registered voters. That is according to statistics released by IEBC. The area that it occupies is a total of 1,478.1 kilometers squared. Its highest point is the summit of Mount Kenya. This is the county that hosts, that plays host to the mountain that is named after the country. The mountain, I believe, where the Kikuyu believe that, Ngai lived at the very top because of the snow-peaked apex. They believe that Ngai resides there, and that's why they always prayed. And still, some of them still do pray. Those who follow the traditional religion still pray facing Mount Kenya.
Actually, traditionally, there was that belief that the rainfall comes from that mountain, Mount Kenya.
They were not wrong. I mean, if my basic geography is anything to go by, the winds rise carrying moisture, they cool, and then they form clouds that later on spread and the rain falls. So they were not exactly wrong on that.
If we can try and break down how the county has been doing in different sectors, I think it's always good to start with education, because if you give a child education, you have done a good thing.
Yes.
In the education sector, this county has a total of approximately 517 schools, 392 primary schools, and 125 secondary schools, of which about 20 are county-based and are either mixed or single secondary schools. The best and well-performing include Kabare Girls High School, Baricho High School, Mutera Girls, Kirinyaga, Giriambu High School, Kirugoya Girls, and Kirugoya Boys, among others. That's the education sector.
Yes, and in the newspapers today, there really was that the headlines actually were how commendable the students from Mount Kenya region have performed in the KCPE results. So I do believe that the quality of education within Mount Kenya is especially high, but we are still waiting to see how the students in secondary and high schools will perform once the KCSE results are released, which shouldn't take as long as they usually would. Because I believe Professor George Magoha is really working on the education sector. So we will have our answers to see if it is only the primary schools that are performing that well within Mount Kenya region, or if it is also, the secondary schools as well.
Yeah, let's wait and see. Yeah, let's wait.
So the Kirinyaga County government constructed 18 new early childhood development and education classrooms and renovated 59 others. The classrooms are built through the county's Department of Education, are aimed at creating a conducive teaching and learning environment for kids. Currently, Kirinyaga has around 198 ECDE centers with 18,747 pupils, comprising of 9,427 boys and 9,520 girls. There are only 3 institutions of higher learning that have a presence in this county. That is Kirinyaga University College, Kerugoya Town Campus, Kirinyaga University College Main Campus, and Sagana Training Technical Institute.
Yeah, I think the incoming governor, whoever will be given that mandate come the August 9 elections, need to do something about the higher institutions of learning. Because I think 3, given the population in that county, is not good enough. What I like is about the ECDE centers, that early childhood development centers. I think being 198 is good, and to give little kids a good chance to form a foundation before they go to primary schools. I think that's a nice step, but when it comes to the institutions of higher learning, the governor that will be taking charge in Kirinyaga County has his or her work cut out.
Yeah, but I do think that part of the presidents that will go into institutions of learning will not necessarily be directed towards institutions of higher learning, but rather the transformation of the other institutions, especially the primary schools, into, well, coping with the CBC curriculum, now that the 844 is slowly being phased out.
Yeah, I think much of the resources will be allocated to ensure that the transition to the new system is seamless. So it's about striking a balance, because even these people who are having that transition will end up in those institutions of higher learning. So it's about getting your act right and coming up with the right balance.
True.
Yeah, I think after focusing on the education sector, let's see how the county has been doing health-wise. Because as we always say, a healthy population is a happy population.
Indeed.
In the health sector, there are a total of 168 health facilities spread across the county. The county has 1 level 4 hospital and 2 level 3 hospitals. There are 12 level 2 health centers and 63 level 1 hospitals or dispensaries, which are well distributed within the county. The level 4 hospital was upgraded from a level 3 under the governance of Governor Wiguru. Yeah, I think when you look at the statistics health-wise, I think Kirinyaga government or Kirinyaga County has not been left behind, though there will always be room for improvement. So I think the incoming governor will have to see what amount and how well distributed these health facilities are, to see how much to allocate, so that the health sector can be taken to the next level. Because the only problem is you may have a lot of facilities health-wise, dispensaries level 1, level 2, level 4, but there's always there's always this issue about lack of medicine in public hospitals.
It's true.
How it's sorted, and it's not only in Kirinyaga County, across the country there's that issue where you go, you are diagnosed with this and that, but you're told now go get money and go buy medicine outside the hospital. I think that's an issue that needs to be followed.
And with the devolution of governance, that also saw, the health sector being devolved, being handled by the county governments, I don't think there has been much in the way of strikes from doctors. But then again, that does not mean that they do not have any complaints. So it could be something still that the governors could look into, health-wise.
Yeah,
And it's not just in Kirinyaga. I think that is something that has to be looked at across the entire country.
Across the entire country. And I think you're right, because there was a time, some time back, where Kenyans used to suffer because of frequent strikes by the medics and clinical officers, health officials in general. But I think the health committee at the Council of Governors, the committee in charge of health, because they have those separate committees, I think it's done a good job in trying to streamline the health sector across the country through the different health departments in different counties. Of course, that committee, working with the Kenya National Union of Nurses, the Doctors Association, and of course with the national government. I think something right has been done.
Yes,
We have not witnessed the boycotts and the strikes.
Yeah, and the strikes were especially prolonged because there could be no middle ground to be gotten to between the national government and the representations of the doctors and the nurses. And so these strikes will continue for a very long period of time. And a lot of people will suffer during this period of time because some of the cases that are taken to hospitals are emergencies. And if you take an emergency to a hospital and there's no doctor or a nurse to get up to it, then the patient that you've taken could be in prolonged periods of pain or even maybe, lose their lives. Yes.
Which is unfortunate.
It is very, very unfortunate. Now, let us turn our attention to the economics of Kirinyaga County. It is agricultural. I think that is quite obvious.
Yeah.
Based on, the location, the climate, and the soil around Kirinyaga County, it is ideal to support agriculture in every way. So agriculture is the main economic activity in Kirinyaga County. The county is best known for rice production at the Mwea irrigation scheme. Coffee and tea are also grown in the cooler areas of Ndea, Geshogo, and Kirinyaga Central constituencies. Other crops grown in the area include maize, beans, tomatoes, French beans, and other horticultural crops. Due to scarcity of land and high population, most agriculture is done in small scale. Yes, it is not the same case as the county we were looking at yesterday, which is Kiambu. Because in Kiambu, there are quite a number of large tea plantations, tea estates. But it's not the same in Kirinyaga, which really wondering, is it because of really the population of Kirinyaga, or is it because of the population and the size? Because Kirinyaga is not as big as Kiambu, so Kiambu will have a lot of land to cater for its population without necessarily affecting the plantations, while Kirinyaga may not be able to do the same thing.
I think it's also about a culture. As we continue tackling different counties, you will find they differ, they are distinct in some certain ways. So you find that this county is known for this county is known for this. Because like if you compare the large scale farming of tea estates in Kiambu, here we are talking of large scale farming of rice. So it's like something that's handed down to generations. This is what we do best, and this is what you concentrate on. Yeah. I think it's so the culture has to play a part on that.
Indeed, it has.
Yeah, and even there's something interesting in Kirinyaga as well. We associate fishing with the counties that are along the lakeside, especially Nyanza and Western. But even or at the coast. Or somewhere in Lake Turkana, those counties.
Yes.
But even in Kirinyaga, there is also fishing at Sagana along the River Sagana. River Sagana is big. The business sector is also growing very fast. These has seen the growth of markets such as Kagio Market. Kagio Market serves Murang'a and Kirinyaga counties traders. In 2013, Kirinyaga was ranked the second richest county.
Oh, wow. Well, and I do believe that a lot of people are now venturing into fish farming within even the agricultural counties across the country, because there is a certain allure that fish farming has. I mean, it is not as labor or finance intensive as farming some of these other things, and plus it doesn't have a lot of controversy such as potato farming, because potato farming, there are these standards, there are qualities that, you know, all the potato farmers have to stick by to regulate their crops, to make them, the produce rather, to make the produce ready for the market. But then fish farming does not have as much. I'm not saying that it does not have the regulations, but maybe the regulations may not be as strict as those in potato farming. And plus, a lot of people are saying that fish farming is beneficial. It is more beneficial than, well, finance-wise, in terms of profit. It is better than farming potatoes. So a lot of people are turning to it instead of continuing with the farming of such agricultural products.
And it's also highly nutritious, the fish. And I also think, Mr. Kelvin, nowadays the market for fish products has widened. Because I remember at some stage in the past, eating samaki was associated with a certain group of people. But now you'll find in many hotels and restaurants, they have fish. They have fish in their menu. So I think by the fact that the market has widened, it's made the farming of the fish become more well distributed, even more lucrative and well spread in many parts of the country, even in parts of this country that you never thought that you could find a fish pond. Nowadays you go and guys are doing it big.
Indeed. Indeed. Now we have to take a short break, but when we come back we'll be looking at the infrastructure of Kirinyaga County, and we do encourage you to reach out to us. You can do this through any one of our social media handles. We are at DAESAK TV, or send us your SMS on 23595. See you after this very brief commercial break. Good afternoon and welcome back to Eye on the Ballot. My name is Kelvin Mungai. I am joined by Mr. Isaac Mwangi, and today we are looking at Kirinyaga County, that is county number 20. Before we went on break, we were looking at the health, the economy, and the infrastructure of the country. Well, not exactly the infrastructure, because infrastructure is what we are looking into now, but rather the education in Kirinyaga County. So as for the infrastructure, the county government of Kirinyaga constructed 4 additional markets for farmers in the county. These added markets bring the number of modern markets to a total of 15 that Governor Anne Waiguru's administration has constructed. Different water projects initiated by the national government in Kirinyaga are said to be, well, they will be ready in April. But I look forward to seeing if indeed that timeline will be adhered to.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, because at least according to the statistics, 94%, they are 94% complete. So they've progressed well, but whether they'll be finished by next month, April is just next month.
Yes, and it is less than 3 days away.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Well, they are said to be at 94% complete, as Bwana Isaac has just said. They include Kirugoya Kutu's water bulk supply in Gishugu and Kirugoya Kutu's sewer plant in Mwea. Both are worth 1.1 billion shillings and 500 million shillings respectively.
Now, once these projects are complete, the Kirugoya Kutu's water bulk supply is expected to serve over 350,000 households, or the 33-kilometer sewer system plant will be used by up to 10,000 households in Kirugoya and Kutus. There is also the construction of a 13-kilometer network of roads within Mwea town, which will cost at least 881.6 million shillings. This project involves benching and widening of existing roads. The project is 42.7% complete. I think on these being 42.7%, I think it must be behind schedule, because it's something that was planned for when the governor took reins.
Yes.
But we hope that the governor, if she's re-elected, or if a new governor comes in, they will also give priority to such such projects that are still going on and complete them. One thing I like about about infrastructure in Kirinyaga is about the water system. How hard the governor has worked to ensure her people get water, because I think, as they say, water is life.
Yes.
And you can see, like the dry counties of this country, before the rain started, the way people have suffered. No food for the residents of different countries, especially in the north. The livestock have died in large numbers. I think for a governor to give priority to water projects and ensure they quench the thirst of their electorates, I think it is a tick, and it's a good move and in the right direction.
Indeed. Food security is one of the things that we have to focus on as a country, because I believe even if we ensure that we produce a surplus in the countries that can generate are agriculturally fertile, then we can take this surplus and use it to feed the counties that are struggling with food security. Indeed. I do not believe that we should be having a Kenyan at this time who is starving to death.
Yeah, we should also not be importing, because at some stage in this country we almost become net importers of food. You know, like now the fight that is going on between Russia and Ukraine has affected how we import wheat.
Yes.
Yeah?
And the prices of it locally.
Yeah, and prices of it locally is another thing. And that's something that affects people. The importation affects people directly, because now if you don't import the wheat that you're importing, the prices of bread, cakes, and all that's manufactured using this wheat will go up, whether you like it or not. Look at rice. Yeah, we import rice from even Pakistan, when we have a lot of food other than Kirinyaga, many other counties which can adopt and start producing rice. So if the right plans, the right forward-looking measures were put in place, Kenya, we won't be importing any grain, any type of food. We should not be importing.
Yes, but then again, there is the aspect that we have to look at while we're talking about importation of foodstuffs and the controversy that surrounds it. We also have to look at the aspect of propping up the economy of the country, because one thing that supports the currency of any particular country, that is depending on how strong or weak it is, one of the factors is international relations and international trade. So while we may not necessarily need to be importing these foodstuffs, it may be necessary in order for us to support the strength of our currency and by and large our economy.
Yeah, that's not necessarily by importation, because we can say we must import something like oil, because here the ones that we are trying to extract in Turkana and some other places may not be enough. So there are products that inevitably we'll have to import. But as you put it, when farmers are well facilitated, the surplus that comes from the farms, we can export, and we'll still gain the foreign currency that we need as a country as well, by exporting, not importing. We import machinery, we import oil. That's okay, because we are not well industrialized and we don't have that natural resource like oil. So for us, the foreign currency, on my side, and that's my opinion, we can get it as well through surplus and through exportation, another one, importation.
Yes. Well, moving on, the county boasts of 4 constituencies with over 349,836 registered voters. Here, an epic battle for the governorship is on. The big fight pits the incumbent Anne Waiguru against 5 other contenders. And now it is time, I believe, we turn our guns onto the people who are contending for this seat.
Exactly.
But of course, I mean, we turn our attention too.
Yeah.
It is not literal. So let's start with the incumbent, that is Anne Waiguru, who was born on the 16th of April in 1971. She is the second governor of Kirinyaga County and is expected to defend her seat on a United Democratic Party, that is the United Democratic Alliance Party ticket, after she bolted from Jubilee. She has been a Jubilee supporter for quite a while, I believe. But recently she changed from the president-led team party to the team for the deputy president. And this was accompanied by a lot of controversy, because there are also those who are in UDA who have cases and allegations of corruption and graft. And it's something that the Azimio team has been using against the Kenya Kwanza team on their campaign trail, claiming that these people will loot the country because most of them do have these cases in court, or they have these allegations leveled against them. And she has been one, although, well, so far, I think she's been cleared to run for it.
For now, on the side of political party, on the side of political party, but the government agencies are not yet through with her, because just the other day the EACC said that they have forwarded another file to the Director of Public Prosecutions. So on the political side, she's totally inside UDA, but on the other side, the investigations are still ongoing to the several cases that she's facing, but maybe before the nominations or before the election, they will have done their bit, the government agencies, and we'll see how it goes from there. Yeah.
Well, here are some of the facts that you may need to know about Governor Anne Waiguru. She served as the first cabinet secretary in the Ministry of Devolution and Planning under the Jubilee government led by President Uhuru Kenyatta. Waiguru served as the first female vice chair of the Council of Governors, and she is behind the establishment of Huduma centers, places where Kenyan citizens can access government services more efficiently, and these have been especially helpful to the citizens of Kenya. Well, yeah, those are some of the things that you have to know, that you will maybe want to know about her.
Yeah, and for Waiguru, before she was appointed a CS, a cabinet secretary by President Uhuru Kenyatta, she's one person who's been in government as a technocrat. So you would expect some of the projects that she has initiated in her county prop up from the experience, the experience she has gained for the many years that she has worked as a technocrat in different institutions, including the government, and now that time that she served as the CS. Now Waiguru is the first of only 3 women governors in Kenya, and she holds a master's degree in economics from the University of Nairobi and has experience in finance, financial management systems, public service reform, capacity building, and governance. That's why we're saying that she has a wealthy of experience when it comes to technical, economic matters and financial technicalities. So I think whichever decision the Kirinyaga residents electorate make, that's the fact behind Waiguru's success this far for the first time that she has been a governor. Yeah.
Well, we cannot exactly talk about Mount Kenya leadership without focusing in on the Iron Lady, Honorable Mother Karua. Well, she is the Kenya leader. Is perhaps one of the best known female politicians in the country. That is next to Honorable Charity Ngilu. And Honorable Anne Waiguru and Sabina Chege are coming up quickly in the ranks in terms of popularity in the country. But still, I don't think any one of them has gotten to the level of Mother Karua and Charity Ngilu. They are still way ahead in terms of popularity. I mean, every time that Mother Karua stands to speak,
you have to listen.
People have to listen. She has that sway on the masses.
Yes.
Well, known for her tough political pronouncements, Karua will be making her second bid for the seat after she lost to Waiguru in 2017.
And I think for Karua, for the Iron Lady, she has insisted that she has a plan for the Kirinyaga people. But of course, as much as she's tough politically, she has her work cut out, because you can't underestimate the incumbent Guru. You can't underestimate Wangui Ngirishi, the women rep, who also wants to run. But time will tell, because she maintains that she has a plan. In fact, there was a time that there was that talk that she won't be vying for the governorship. She was being touted that she would be one among the preferred candidates for running mate. You remember that? You remember that?
Yes.
Debate?
Yes.
But finally, she came out and she said that I have a plan, and I'll have to follow it through by being the Kirinyaga governor. But we'll wait and see.
Yeah.
Kirinyaga. Yeah.
Isn't there still that talk? I mean, the talk has revived because of the time. That talk existed because she was in One Kenya Alliance with Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka, who at the time people were saying that we would be running for the presidency seat instead of joining either Azimio or Kenya Kwanza to support them. But then again, he joined the Azimio team. And Mother Karua also later on joined it. So there is now talk that she could be being selected, being favored for the running mate position in Azimio, as opposed to, well, the other people in who are quite influential in the alliance, because of, one, her influence over the women in the country, and two, her influence over Mount Kenya, which hosts quite a number of people, quite a number of votes, and it cannot be neglected if we are looking at the number of votes that could come from the region.
Yeah, the problem with our politics, Mr. Kelvin, is that the currency that runs Kenya's politics is propaganda and narratives. So we'll have a lot of it. Some baseless, some with an element of truth. So we'll have a lot of propaganda, we'll have a lot of narratives, people coming up, matching up Kelvin and candidate B, running mate and the candidate. So we have that a lot, at least until the nomination. The nominations in April happen. I think there will be no candidate who would want to delay so much in naming their running mate. So I think this propaganda and narrative is just for the time being. Yeah, the truth will come out.
Yes, but the speculative, though it may be there in large at a point like this in time, we do have to say that it does form quite some interesting conversations. And, well, we also enjoy reveling a bit in it, looking at what will happen if a certain person is selected for a certain position in the alliance. It is quite some fun doing that.
Yes, and remember, this speculation will also help shape the opinion, shape the opinion and try to upgrade some of these candidates. Because when you're touted that you have that political gravitas to become someone's running mate, someone like Deputy President William Ruto's running mate, or Raila Odinga's Azimio leader running mate, you see your political credentials goes a notch higher. Yeah, so these speculations, they help some of these individuals to uplift their political credentials.
Indeed.
Now, Karua's announcement that she will be vying for the governorship seat ended months of speculation that she would be joining national politics as a running mate to one of the leading presidential candidates. Here is what you need to know about the Iron Lady of Kenyan politics. That's mother for you. And she's a former long-serving member of parliament for Ishugu and cabinet minister under retired President Mwea Kibaki's government. And remember, Mr. Kelvin, Mother Karua was a key pillar in Kibaki's government. Mother Karua and the likes of the late John Michuki, there were several cabinet ministers that were key in the functioning of the Kibaki government, which is credited with the relaunching actually the economy that has stalled by that time. And Karua was among them. Yeah? And if you look at that circle of about 5 ministers, she was the only woman. So that goes to tell you her gravitas when it comes to political stage and even the management of government. Because she served as a minister for justice, minister for water. All those years, she really helped the Kibaki government, yeah, and also elevated her political prowess, to put it that way, to another level. Now, the Iron Lady, as she is known by her peers, was one of the few pro-democracy bigwigs who were brutalized by the KANU regime while fighting for multi-partyism in the early 90s. You remember that time she was also very vocal.
Yes.
Joined by the likes of the late Wangari Maathai and others to fight for multi-party.
I believe that is the reason why her and Raila Odinga now, well, when she joined Azimio, they called each other
comrades. Yeah.
Because they claimed they were both in the trenches when they were fighting for multi-partyism.
I don't think really it's claims, because they were there. They were the voices. After many voices had been drowned by the brutality of the regime then, they could gather the courage and come out and address the press and talk and castigate the government and emphasize on the need to bring political pluralism in this country. And you see, finally they won. They won the battle.
Yes.
Even if they were left with marks, there were deaths, there were incapacitation, a lot of bad things happened that time. And these people were the voices of the voiceless that time. So you have to give it to her.
Indeed.
You have to give it to her.
Yeah, she is justified to be called the Iron Lady.
She is justified because in this country, as you know, there's that gender thing when it comes gender gap when it comes especially to politics, because it's dominated by men who will use vulgar language, violence. They will unleash violence onto you, and they are better resourced when it comes to politicians who are men. So for you to see a lady who can withstand those backward ways that are used by men to campaign and lift her head over the waters, you have to give thumbs up. She has done her part, and now she wants to be in charge of Kirinyaga. We are yet to see. And being in the trenches that time helped her, because she has, in this country, she has been one of the longest serving MPs from Ishugu after she clinched that seat through DP ticket in 1992.
Yes.
She's done a lot.
Well, we will be looking at more people who are vying for the governor seat of Kirinyaga County after this short commercial break. Do stay with us. To Eye On The Ballot. My name is Kelvin Mungai. I am on set with Bwana Isaac Mwangi, and today we are focusing on the leadership of Kirinyaga County, that is along with a bit of demographics, so that you can make the best decision as to who to entrust its leadership to come the August 9th elections. Now, before we went on break, we were looking at Honorable Mother Karua, that is the Iron Lady, and Honorable Anne Waiguru, the incumbent governor of Kirinyaga currently. But now let us turn our attention to Wangui Ngirishi, who is the flamboyant women representative. Her full names are Purity Wambui Ngirishi. She is the incumbent women member of parliament of Kirinyaga County, that is a women rep of Kirinyaga County. Ngirishi declared she'll go for the seat as an independent candidate after her fallout with Deputy President's UDA party. She is known in the political circles due to her immense resources and campaign zeal around the county. She was born in the year 1978 and holds a bachelor's degree in commerce from the University of Nairobi. Now, Bora Isaac, there are quite a number of things that define Kenyan politics, and I think one of them is flamboyancy and a bit of what do they call it? This loud character and theatrics that are put on show. So do you think they go a long way in helping those who are vying for political seats?
Especially for Ngirishi, the women rep, the Kirinyaga women rep, is we focus on her. She's very flamboyant, and it's because of the resources. Flamboyance doesn't necessarily get you the votes, yeah. But what it does, it makes you noted, yeah. Because if you're flying all over with choppers, you're flying all over the county with choppers, your cars are branded everywhere, yeah? Where when you call meetings, people feast completely, yeah. Flamboyance makes you noted that there's someone who wants this and that, but it doesn't necessarily translate into votes. You still have to hit the ground and convince the electorate. But maybe with some luck, it can get you a certain percentage of votes, because when you're well oiled financially, people will always want to be on your side, because kutatoka something, mtu hatatoka hivyo. So to some extent, it can get you a certain percentage of vote, but it may not guarantee you the win. Because like even in Kiambu, the former governor was very flamboyant.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Very
flamboyant. He got some votes, but never a win. Yeah. The guy they were competing with, you remember, when Kabogo was flying all over with choppers, Babaya was just traversing the county, miguu ama kwa gari, akiona wananchi, and finally he won. He got the win. So flamboyance, being outspoken, it might play a part, but it doesn't guarantee you anything.
It doesn't guarantee the win.
It doesn't guarantee you anything, because we've seen many. Even in Mombasa, there's a businessman called Shabat, who was very good in such kind of flamboyance activities during the campaigns. But finally, when the final vote is started, you are not there. You are not the winner. So we can say, and that's why this is a very good example. For Ngirishi is a very good example of what the political world say, that a day in politics is like a lifetime. I think, Mr. Kevin, on your side, you never thought Ngirishi could be among the very first aspirants, Deputy President William Ruto's foot soldiers to at that time. to shift camp. Yeah, because of how she would defend and campaign for the DP Ruto campaigns. But it happened. A day in politics is like a lifetime. Now she's said that she will go for the governor's seat as an independent. Yeah. Given the other people that she's facing, I think she has a battle. She has a battle. You can't write out wish away Mother Karua. You can't wish away the incumbent. Now that even the Peter Ndambiri, the deputy governor who's been helping Waiguru to run the government, is also in the hunt. So she's beside the resources that she might be having and the color of her campaign, she should not sit on her laurel. I mean, she needs to do work, campaign to the last minute, and then pray and wish that she has to some extent, because politics, you need luck as well at some stage.
Yes, but I also don't think that we can fail to mention the role that being affiliated with a certain political party, especially within the Mount Kenya region, plays in the propagation of a person's political career. I mean, if we were to take Kiamba in Kiambu constituency as an example, the candidate there for the MP by-elections won, not because he was popular on the ground or even because of the kind of campaigns that he did, but largely because the people there wanted to get back at the president for abandoning the deputy president, because the deputy president does seem to have a lot of sympathy garnering from Mount Kenya region. So not only the personalities in the race for governorship this time round are playing a role in whether a person gets into a certain position or not, but also I feel the kind of party that they choose to stand with. A lot of people may choose to, you know, or at least right now, as the atmosphere is, as of right now, based on the people that I have talked to within the Mount Kenya region, a lot of people may side with the UDA party, not necessarily because of the candidate that is standing with that party, but because they feel indebted to the deputy president, you know, for supporting their son, the son of the mountain, for the past 2 elections that they have won, and the deputy president has stood by him, which is something that the deputy president keeps on reiterating every time he visits the Mount Kenya or its environs, that he has stood with the son of the mountain despite what they were facing at the time.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, the vehicle that you use, the popularity of that political vehicle that you use plays a huge role. But that doesn't mean because you get the ticket of a certain party that's popular in a certain region, you sit back and wait.
Indeed.
Yeah,
indeed. You still have to do massive campaigns.
Yeah, because it depends on whoever you're facing. Yeah, whoever you're facing, they might take advantage of that. When you relax because you have the candidate, the ticket of the popular party. And for them, they do proper groundwork. You'll find yourself losing. So it's advantageous, if we can put it that way, to have a certain ticket for a certain region. But that doesn't mean that you go sit back.
You know, the victory is not guaranteed.
It's not guaranteed. We've seen a lot of people who, through fair or fraudulent ways, were given tickets of the popular party in that region at a certain time of election, and they lost.
Indeed. And now I believe we have to move on in the interest of time to the Deputy Governor, Peter Ndambiri.
Yeah, Peter Ndambiri has been the deputy for Waiguru for all these years. Yeah? But of late, they, like the last 2 years, they've never been in terms. I think since Governor Waiguru realized that her DG Peter Ndambiri is is having that ambition of unseating her. You know, you become uncomfortable when you know your deputy is eyeing your seat. Yeah, you know, if maybe Governor Waiguru was doing a second term, it could not have been an issue.
Yeah.
But when you realize
your deputy is looking to replace you,
to replace you, things turn south. And yeah, now for Tambiri, who is the current deputy governor, I think he has his work cut out, because the three women that he will be facing are not political pushovers. Now, for some time, the DG has not been in good working relations with his boss. That's what we've been discussing. And in 2013, because he's tried his luck in the political seats before he was appointed the DG by Waiguru. In 2013, he vied for the Mwea parliamentary seat, but lost at the nomination stage to Peter Gitau. The DG was born in Kanjiji village, Mwea sub-county in 1966. He first graduated with a degree in theology before pursuing accounting, which catapulted him into the world of business in Nairobi. I think this terminology business, it's used by a lot of politicians. What they don't tell us is what kind of business they do. Yeah, because most of them are business people.
Yes.
But if you try and dig deep about the business, without casting aspersions, a lot of politicians have the title, I'm a businessman, I'm a businesswoman. Even Girishi is a businesswoman.
Yes.
So I find it interesting, because a lot of politicians call themselves business people. So that's Ndabiri for you. He has been there for the 5 years now, deputizing Waiguru. He has learned the ropes of running the government, at least for those 5 years, and we'll see how he's been assisting Waiguru in managing the government. We'll see when his campaign tricks and techniques will be put to test. Yeah.
Well, in terms of if we continue on a bit on the topic of politicians and their claims about being business people, we have had quite a few of them come on the hotspot segment of the Morning Dew, and the only ones who openly admit to what businesses they have been involved in, I find, are those who are vying for the MCA position. I mean, for this morning we had a contestant for MCA Thika Township Ward, who Nathan. Yeah. He was Nathan. His second name is escaping my head a bit. But he is in the medical field. He has worked as a clinical officer. There was another one that we had, Calypso, who is running for the MCA Township Ward in Moranga, and he admitted to us that he has worked as a hawker and a hustler within the county. So those ones I find are more honest about the kind of businesses that they have been engaging in, as opposed to some people who are in a higher levels of governance, who may not be willing to admit that they have actually been in the trenches of life and are therefore now where they are. It's a bit of information that they keep blanketed
under the wraps. The wraps.
Yes. Now, turning our attention to Peter Gitau, who is another aspirant who has declared interest in the coveted seat, who is a former MP for Mwea. He has been the member of parliament for Mwea constituency since 2007. In 2007, he was elected to the 10th parliament on a PNU ticket, and on March 2013, he was elected to the 11th parliament on the National Alliance party ticket, that is the TNA. in the Jubilee Alliance before being ousted by Wachira Kabinga in 2017. Prior to entering the August House, he worked as a physical planner in the Ministry of Lands. The other contestant who has thrown his hat in the ring is businessman Chomba Ndao, again with a businessman. Not exactly, it's not exactly specific what businesses they are into.
That amorphous title of businessman, businesswoman.
Yeah.
What I find about a bit unique about Peter Gitau, there's this trend when a member of parliament serves two terms. They want to go to the Senate, then they want to come out of the Senate and go to vie for the governorship, because at Senate level you scrutinize the books, books of the governors, and you see how well they are funded, and you want to go and clinch that seat. So for him to come out of parliament and go straight to governorship, I think the number of MPs who have done that are not many. But if you look at the number of senators who have said that they want the governor's seat, it's quite a good number, and it's because they have access to audited result concerning the counties, so they know what they are going for.
And they know what to tell the people at the ground.
Yeah, and they know what to tell them, and it's easier to tell the people who have been in the Senate, fighting for more money to come down here to the counties. So it's better you give me this seat because I know I fought for the money and I know where to manage, how properly I can manage the kitty and bring some developments in it. It's much easier.
Indeed. Now, before we close the show, do you believe that there is, leaders who follow the hierarchy of governance, that is, leaders who rise from MPs to senators to governors, make better leaders than those who rise from, who go ahead and skip steps in it? You know, maybe like those who are going from members of parliament straight to governors, skipping the Senate level.
I think that depends largely on an individual, because all individuals are not the same. And you might be ambitious enough. Look at someone like Muranga Senator, Irongo Kangata. He's risen from a councillor to an MP to a senator. He's now vying for the governorship. That one person, you cannot use him rising like that and another one who is skipped one level of representation to make a wholesome or wholesale decision or judgment about leadership. I think leadership boils down to an individual's integrity, decorum, understanding of their people and their priorities. I think it's an individual thing, and it's very hard to generalize and make a wholesale decision on that.
Oh, well, that has been the information that you may need in terms of the governor position of Kirinyaga County. We will be back here tomorrow to discuss another one. Are we looking at Nairobi tomorrow? Murang'a. Well, join us tomorrow as we discuss Murang'a County and find out what its demographics contain and who are the people running for the positions of leadership within that county, so that you can be able to assess and judge for yourself as to who is best suited to hold the reins of leadership within your county. We will be doing this breakdown for all the counties, all the 47 counties in our country, as well as look at some of the challenges that our leaders need to focus on as a country and as counties across the country. Now, do remember that we advocate strongly for the consumption of water for your own health, especially at a time like now when the weather is a bit polaric. That is, it is very hot during the day, and at night in some areas of the country we are experiencing rainfall. So we do recommend that you take every now and then a refreshing drink of water. We have Regis Premium Water on set with us, which is what we are advocating the use of. You can get it at any one of the outlets. It comes in 1 liter and 500 milliliters bottles, as is displayed on set. Make sure you get yours. The bottles are, well, they do look good. The packaging looks good, and it's easy for you to recycle and repurpose these bottles. So do stay tuned to DAESAK TV for more awesome programming coming up after this short break. D-Corner is coming up at 5 for entertainment with Miss Nara and Mr. Muhindu. So do stay tuned for that. That is all that we had time for today here on Eye on the Ballot. My name is Kelvin Mungai.
And I'm Isaac Kamangi.
Have a lovely evening.
You are watching DAESAK TV, the Cradle of Goodness.